video. Check, 1, 2. Testing. Triplets. Alright. Going with this. This is my I think it was $186 Alvarez nylon string guitar. And here's how you know you got a good guitar. I mean, just a good guitar that you can do stuff with and learn and play. So I hadn't played this in a while. It hangs on the wall, and I usually have all my other guitars out. I've been on a little trip, so I put everything away. I probably didn't put this away because even through a window, this one looks enticing enough to break in if you're gone for a couple weeks. But anyway, this was the first one I broke back out for whatever reason, the first. And so I've been playing it. So I tuned it up, and it wasn't that out of tune. That was about 2 weeks ago, and I've been playing it a lot. And I went to check it right before this, and according to the tuner, let me preface that for the record. It was, every string was still in tune after 2 weeks of steady playing. So that's a good fucking guitar, man. That's all it really comes down to, is to stay in tune. That's how you know you got a good guitar. This is nice to have too, because it's not really loud. So it's a good one to have when you're just watching TV and there may be other people around or something. So anyway, we got a tune here. Where's my pal? Where's my friend? All good things must have an end. Sad things, nothing, and on and on and on they go. I guess he went to Mexico. They all went to Mexico. Buenos dias, got to go. Can't go que obedecer mi corazón. They all went to Mexico. Where's my mule and where's my dray? Straw hats packed up and gone away. Mule don't go north, your dray goes slow. I guess they went to Mexico. Where's my sweetie? Where's the face that licked our corners every place? She put up with me a long time, you know. I guess she had to go to Mexico. They all went to Mexico. Buenos dias, got to go. Tengo que obedecer mi corazón. They all went to Mexico. Where's my brown dog? Where's my hound? He liked my truck, he hung around. But he's a canine Romeo. I guess he went to Mexico. Where's that woman? So sweet, so mean. Her heart was cautious, her mind was keen. But she was always looking for that peccadillo. I guess she went to Mexico. They all went to Mexico. Buenos dias, got to go. Tengo que obedecer mi corazón. They all went to Mexico. Where's my happy December's crew? With German bikes and sidecars too. They took the truck north to St. Louis motorcycle all the way to Mexico. Where's my luck? Where's my grace? Has it all been just a foolish chase? Every time I hear that rainy chill wind blow, I think it might be time to head to Mexico. They all went to Mexico. Buenos dias, got to go. Tengo que obedecer mi corazón. They all went to Mexico. They all went to Mexico. Buenos dias, got to go. Tengo que obedecer mi corazón. They all went to Mexico. of course, they all went to Mexico, which I have heard on the Santana album, Carlos Santana album, Havana Moon, which was released in like 1983. These were like, I kind of went back and got all Santana's albums, and this was the 80s. I love his 80s albums, but nobody was buying his albums, you know. That's when he came out with that big album, Supernatural, because he went to Clive Davis, who like made Whitney Houston. Kind of gets credit for signing the Grateful Dead when they had their big hit. You know, he was at Arista Records and whatever I was talking about. Yeah, I smoked a big spliff before I did this, so it's amazing I got all those lyrics right, and I did. There was a couple hesitancies in there that you might notice. I may notice. I was searching. I had it down cold, then I went out and smoked a big spliff and fed the kittens, and I think it came across fine, just fine. But Havana Moon, great album. It was he did a couple tunes with the Fabulous Thunderbirds, who were new at that time. You know, Kim Wilson and Jimmy Vaughn. Who Do You Love and stuff, and he did a bunch of tunes with Booker T. Jones, from Booker T and the MGs, and they're all kind of slow burners. You know, they never really take off like you kind of want. You know, like, you know, in Black Magic Woman, it hits a peak, and you don't want that exact thing every time. But all these tunes are kind of. But he does Havana Moon, which you may or may not know, and now that you know, it may just intrigue you to want to go and find out what else you don't know. It was written by Chuck Berry. And I didn't really know that. It may even be on that Great 28 Chuck Berry, your intro to Chuck Berry CD, but it's just kind of one, like You Never Can Tell. That's one of the most wonderful upbeat tunes, and every time you hear that, you're like, oh yeah, fucking Chuck Berry wrote that. You know, goes to show you never can tell. But Havana Moon I mean, you know, it's just a clever wordplay Chuck Berry tune about Havana in the moon. So that's where that ties in, and you may or may not know that the Stones, Rolling Stones, when they played Cuba, it was a big deal. You know, it was I forget what year it is, around 2015 maybe. Yeah, because it was something to do with Obama, because they had scheduled and were setting up the stadium, and all of a sudden Obama decided he wanted to fly in that day. So yeah, I guess he was still in office around there. It was 2014, 15 maybe. But anyway, they called the movie that they put out, the DVD, Havana Moon. And they're, you know, Keith, of course, and Mick. They're all, Ronnie, all huge Chuck Berry fans. And I think they actually play, the Stones don't, but there's a version of that in there, if not the Chuck Berry. But that's a great DVD because it leads up where they're kind of planning the Cuba concert, you know, and there's all the Obama thing, and which I fucking hate when I use their names, because I don't like him. But he's a racist grifter. But you know, so there's all this intrigue, but they're playing like the rest of South America at the time, you know, Buenos Aires and Argentina and stuff, and pretty cool. They show a lot of stuff in the streets. There's this great scene where there's a mariachi band, and I think they play Happy. They're playing Happy. It's fucking great. It's like the best scene. That, and there's another scene where they get Mick and Keith together, and they're talking about in 1968, they took a trip to South America and spent, you know, with their girlfriends out at some resort, which I'm still sure was pretty rough in those days, out in the Amazon. And that's where they came up with Country Honk, which of course evolved into Honky Tonk Women. But then Mick and Keith, right there, they play Country Honk, you know, which is just, you know, what's on Let It Bleed. It's like the country version of Honky Tonk Women. Sitting in a bar, playing my guitar in Jackson. just a matter of being in key. But it's great. So they right there. Mick and Keith, 75 years old, whip out a version of Country Honk, and it's worth having that DVD just for that. So, that's that. That's how the music all ties in. But good Santana album. Havana Moon. Yeah, the 80s were kind of just I think his live shows were selling well, and I kind of got into Santana, and I went in and just got all his stuff, and there's a good CD called Viva Santana. It was like a double CD, and it kind of started his comeback. It was like a greatest hits, but it had like live versions of a lot of the stuff, and I really fell in love with that. It had some great jams from and a lot of it was 1985 and sound checks. And another great album by Santana, actually probably one of my favorites, the one that I actually do listen to a lot, is called Blues for Salvador. And Salvador is his son. And it's just a bunch of outtakes in sound checks and shit, and a couple live tunes, and it's just awesome. And the song Blues for Salvador was just like a studio jam. And allegedly, the story is that his wife, he used to take stuff home and listen to the tape of the day, and his wife was listening to that, and it came out. And if you don't know the song, go to it. Beautiful Carlos Santana tune, like a 5-minute instrumental, but one of those ones that you're not at all going, when are they going to start singing, But you got to be pretty simple-minded anyways, if every song has to have, Oh, we could go down that road a while. All right, well, that's about it. So they all went to Mexico. I'm glad that one came together. I got those words down pretty well. I've been wanting to do that one for a while. There's actually on that Havana Moon album, I think after they all went to Mexico, the last song is Carlos Santana's father, like a recording of his father playing like a song back in the 50s or 40s or something. Pretty cool. Like Verada Tropical or something like that. So check that out, man. I gotta go back to Mexico. Had to be said. That will get me a lot of trouble right there. Y'all know what I mean. Keep it legal.